30 Weird Facts About Argentina Life and Culture. Let's get started. Fact 30. Let's talk about the taste of the country. Because if you are a tourist looking for salt, you might think you've entered a culinary conspiracy. Argentina passed national legislation aimed at reducing sodium intake across the population, setting limits on processed foods, and restricting how salt is offered in restaurants. Many restaurants no longer keep salt shakers on the table unless a customer specifically asks for one. And the effect reaches further than you'd expect. Even the fast food chains taste different here. Walk into a McDonald's in Buenos Aires and the fries arrive almost bare, with a fraction of the salt you'd get from the same order anywhere else in the world. To seasoning-loving tourists, the first bite of Argentine food is a genuine surprise, followed by the awkward ritual of asking the waiter for a shaker that's kept somewhere behind the counter. Fact 29. If you travel just 30 kilometers north of the elegant streets of Buenos Aires, the urban jungle transforms into a labyrinth of water. The Paraná Delta is a vast, shifting network of thousands of islands where roads do not exist. Known as the Argentine Venice, life here runs on water. Children take a wooden schoolboat to class. Groceries arrive by boat. If you don't own a motorboat, you're not going anywhere. It is a fully functional amphibious society, hidden right next to a megacity. Fact 28. In Argentina, the line between sport and religion was erased decades ago. The country didn't just produce Diego Maradona, they founded a registered religion dedicated to him, the Iglesia Maradoniana, the Church of Maradona. It has tens of thousands of members worldwide, its own Christmas celebrated on October 30th, Maradona's birthday, and a baptism ritual where members recreate his 1986 Hand of God goal against England. And here's what most foreigners get wrong about the other one. For nearly 2 decades, Argentina did not love Lionel Messi. He left Rosario for Barcelona at 13, and the country decided he was Spanish. They said he didn't sing the anthem. They said he didn't bleed for the shirt the way Maradona had. He lost the 2014 World Cup final, then 2 Copa America finals back-to-back, missing his own penalty in the second one. He announced his retirement from the national team in 2016 at 29 years old, and a substantial part of the country was fine with it. It took winning the Copa America in 2021 and the World Cup in 2022 for Argentina to finally forgive him for not being Maradona. Fact 27. Nowhere is this football obsession more dangerous or more beautiful than the Super Clásico, the rivalry between Buenos Aires' 2 giants, Boca Juniors and River Plate. The hatred is so intense that for years, away fans were banned from stadiums entirely to prevent riots. The epicenter is Boca's stadium, La Bombonera, the chocolate box. Built with a bizarre flat vertical stand due to space constraints, the concrete structure physically vibrates when the fans jump in unison. The club's motto isn't a marketing slogan, it's an engineering report. La Bombonera no tiembla, late. The Bombonera doesn't tremble, it beats. Fact 26. Walk down the cobblestone streets of San Telmo, or La Boca in Buenos Aires, and you don't need a theater ticket to see the country's most famous dance. Professional tango dancers deploy portable wooden floors directly onto the public asphalt, turning traffic stops and sidewalks into high-stakes performances. They dance through exhaust fumes and the noise of city buses, collecting tips from stunned tourists who realize that in this city, melancholic passion is a public utility. Fact 25. The average Argentine's relationship with red meat borders on biological obsession. Argentina consistently ranks among the highest beef consumers per capita on the planet, roughly 50 kilos per person per year. The centerpiece is the asado, which is not a barbecue, and calling it one is a social insult. An asado is a slow, hours-long ritual executed over wood embers, where every part of the cow is systematically cooked and served in sequence. To turn down an invitation to an asado is to quietly exit Argentine's social life. Fact 24. If beef is the country's physical fuel, dulce de leche is its emotional bloodline. This thick, caramelized milk paste appears at nearly every meal. It's inside breakfast pastries, drizzled over desserts, and eaten straight from the jar with a spoon in moments of stress. The country produces over 100,000 tons a year and treats it not as a condiment, but as a cultural monument, one it will aggressively defend against any country claiming to make a better version. Fact 23. Despite having some of the most sophisticated European-style cities in the Southern Hemisphere, Argentina is home to the southernmost city on the planet, Ushuaia. Located at the jagged tip of Tierra del Fuego, it's officially branded El Fin del Mundo, the end of the world. A landscape of dramatic fjords, glaciers, and subantarctic forests, where the next stop heading south is Antarctica. Fact 22. If you want a visual representation of Argentine improvisation, look at the roofs of parked cars. In many parts of the country, you'll see plastic water bottles balanced on top of vehicles. This is not forgotten groceries. It's an unwritten agreement. A water bottle on the roof means the car is for sale. No printed sign. No listing. You balance a bottle of mineral water up there and wait for someone to knock on your window. Fact 21. The national drink of Argentina is not wine. It's mate. A bitter, heavily caffeinated herbal infusion drunk from a hollow gourd through a metal straw called a bombilla. But mate is rarely a solitary drink. It's a social contract. A group shares a single gourd, passing it around the circle. There's an entire unwritten code. You never stir the straw. You never take too long when it's your turn, and you never say thank you when handing it back. Unless you want out of the next round. Because gracias means I'm done drinking. Fact 20. Argentine sweetness reaches its peak with the alfajor, the king of Argentine snacks. Two soft cookies, sandwiched with a thick layer of dulce de leche, usually coated in chocolate or meringue. Argentina consumes an estimated 6 million alfajores every single day. There are supermarket aisles dedicated exclusively to different brands, grades, and artisanal varieties of this one snack. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, built entirely around a cookie sandwich. Fact 19. The Argentine peso has experienced such extreme inflation over the decades that the country turned into a dual-currency society. Trust in banks and in the paper peso collapsed so thoroughly that the real estate market operates in physical US dollar bills. If you want to buy an apartment in Buenos Aires, you don't do a bank transfer. You show up to a secure basement office with a duffel bag stuffed with $100 bills, which are counted by hand under ultraviolet lights. Fact 18. Because of this economic chaos, Argentina developed one of the most elaborate underground currency exchange systems in the world. Walk down Calle Florida in Buenos Aires, and you'll hear people shouting, "Cambio! Cambio!" These are the operators of cuevas, caves, illegal but openly tolerated financial hubs where you trade foreign cash for the blue dollar, an unofficial exchange rate that can give tourists double or triple the purchasing power of the official government rate. Fact 17. Argentina has a profound psychological obsession with psychology. The country has more psychologists per capita than any other nation on Earth. In Buenos Aires, there's an entire neighborhood unofficially known as Villa Freud because of the sheer density of psychoanalysts' offices. Going to therapy isn't viewed as a medical treatment. It's a standard topic of conversation over coffee on a Tuesday afternoon. Fact 16. If you show up to an Argentine dinner party at 8 p.m., you'll find your hosts in their underwear, vacuuming the floor. In Argentina, time is fluid. Dinner rarely begins before 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock p.m., even on weekdays. Restaurants don't start filling up until midnight. And if you go to a nightclub, a boliche, the doors don't open until 2 a.m., and the party routinely runs until the sun is high in the sky. Fact 15. The Argentine accent is unlike anything else in the Spanish-speaking world. A massive wave of Italian immigration in the late 19th and early 20th centuries left the local Spanish carrying the cadence, intonation, and hand gestures of Naples and Sicily. They also changed the pronunciation of LL and Y. While the rest of Latin America says them as a Y, Argentines pronounce them as a heavy, slushy SH. To a Mexican, the beach is the playa. To an Argentine, It's the placia. Fact 14. That same Italian immigration created an underground language called lunfardo, originally slang used by the criminal underworld of Buenos Aires to confuse police. Lunfardo absorbed words from Italian dialects, French, and African languages. Today it has merged into everyday Argentine speech. Words like pibe, kid, laburo, work, and mina, woman, are used by everyone from street sweepers to politicians. Fact 13. Argentina is home to one of the most volatile natural spectacles on Earth, the Perito Moreno Glacier in Patagonia. Unlike most glaciers on the planet, which are rapidly retreating, Perito Moreno is one of the few still dynamically advancing. It forms a natural ice dam across a lake, which periodically ruptures under immense water pressure every few years, sending building-sized walls of blue ice collapsing into the water with a sound like thunder. Fact 12. The national sport of Argentina is officially not football. By government decree signed in 1953, the official national sport is pato, which means duck. It's a high-speed game played on horseback, combining elements of polo and basketball. It originated in the 17th century among the gauchos, and it got its name because the original ball was a live duck inside a leather bag. Today they use a standard leather ball with handles. The game remains brutal. Fact 11. In the heart of Argentine Patagonia sits a city that looks nothing like Argentina. Bariloche was built by Swiss and German immigrants in the early 20th century, and its center, stone buildings, wooden beams, steep alpine rooflines, could pass for a Bavarian village. The famous chocolate industry came directly from those Swiss families. And then there's the other layer. After World War II, several former Nazi officers escaped to Argentina through the rat lines, and one of them, Erich Priebke, responsible for the massacre of 335 civilians in Rome in 1944, settled in Bariloche and lived there openly for nearly 50 years. He ran the local Italo-Argentine Association. He gave interviews. He was only extradited in 1995 after an American TV crew filmed him admitting to the massacre on camera. Fact 10. Walk into an Argentine bakery and you'll be confronted by rows of pastries with rebellious names. Known collectively as facturas, they were named in the late 1800s by an anarchist bakers' union during a strike. To mock the government, the church, and the police, they named their pastries vigilantes, styled like a police baton, suspiros de monja, nun's sighs, and cañoncitos, little cannons. Today, locals casually order a dozen little cannons with their morning coffee, without thinking twice about the political rebellion in their hands. Fact 9. In the province of La Rioja, there's a landscape so alien that scientists use it to simulate Mars missions. Talampaya National Park features vertical red sandstone cliffs rising 150 meters straight out of the desert floor. The area is a geological archive holding fossils of dinosaurs that lived over 250 million years ago. A side of Argentina that looks disconnected from the green pastures of the Pampas. Fact 8. Argentina has a concept of brutal honesty as affection. It is normal and socially acceptable to nickname your friends based entirely on their physical appearance. Calling someone gordo, fatty, flaco, skinny, negro, dark-skinned, or Russo, Russian, meaning blonde, is done without a trace of malice. It's a sign of intimacy. The closer the friendship, the more direct the nickname. Fact 7. Argentina operates a complex system of political protest called piquetes. Organized groups regularly block major highways, avenues, and international bridges with burning tires and banners to demand government concessions. What would trigger a state of emergency in most countries is treated here as a standard commute. Local traffic radio stations casually list which bridges are currently blocked by fire, so drivers can plan alternative routes. Fact 6. The country has a nationwide devotion to Gauchito Hill, a 19th-century Robin Hood figure executed by police. He is not recognized as a saint by the Catholic Church, yet he has a massive religious following across Argentina. His shrines, painted a vivid, aggressive red, and hung with red flags, appear every few kilometers along major highways. Drivers tap their horns twice as they pass, asking for protection on the road. Fact 5. Argentina is home to the widest avenue in the world. Avenida 9 de Julio in central Buenos Aires spans 140 meters, packing up to 16 lanes of traffic. Crossing it as a pedestrian requires surviving 3 separate sets of traffic lights and takes several minutes of tactical walking. At its center stands a 67-meter obelisk dominating the city's skyline. Fact 4. If you're invited to a social gathering in Argentina, you'll encounter the one-kiss protocol. Unlike the European system of 2 or 3 kisses, everyone greets everyone with a single, firm kiss on the right cheek. Men kissing men, women kissing women, strangers meeting for the first time. Business meetings, family gatherings, introductions between people who have never met. One kiss, every time. Fact 3. Argentine cafe culture is a preserved historical monument. In Buenos Aires, there's a protected network of over 70 historic coffee shops, officially designated cafés notables. Dark wood, marble tables, waiters in traditional black vests, barely changed in over a century. You can sit for 4 hours with a single espresso and a glass of sparkling water, and the waiter won't bring you the bill unless you ask. Forcing a customer to leave is considered a serious cultural violation. Fact 2. In the remote windswept valleys of Patagonia, there's a hidden pocket of whales. In the mid-1800s, hundreds of Welsh immigrants crossed the globe to escape British cultural suppression. Today, towns like Gaiman and Trelew still maintain traditional Welsh tea houses, Welsh language schools, and Eisteddfod festivals. It's a surreal cultural time capsule where you can eat Welsh fruitcake and hear fluent Welsh spoken in the middle of the Argentine desert. Fact 1. The grandest resting place on Earth is hidden inside a Buenos Aires neighborhood. Recoleta Cemetery is not a graveyard. It's a city of the dead, spanning 4 city blocks of high-walled Baroque stone architecture. It holds over 4,000 above-ground marble mausoleums containing presidents, military heroes, and Eva Perón herself. The structures are so massive and dense that the mausoleums have their own doors, their own keys, and their own basements. It sits there, silent and opulent, surrounded by expensive high-rise apartments. A reminder that in Argentina, even the afterlife is an exercise in dramatic historical theater. These are 30 facts, and we didn't even scratch the surface of this beautiful and passionate country. If one of these facts genuinely stopped you, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're new here, this is exactly what we do. Culture, but make it matter. See you in the next one.